Well, farming doesn't have to necessarily be a full-blown career to make a profit, and sometimes it could even be a hobby. Southwest Produce Weekly's Chip Carter introduces us to a farmer who thrives on growing gourmet mushrooms.
This may look like a typical Florida suburban home, but there's a thriving farming operation going on just through these doors.
It's usually a 50-50 split of people that don't like mushrooms, but I get it. They've been fed the same mushroom, literally the same mushroom variety, their whole lives. They don't know lion's mane exists and it can taste like lobster. They don't know blue oysters have a different texture than a button mushroom. It takes in flavor better because it has gills. They don't know this stuff because no one teaches them here. So people at home could kind of see the texture. It's that of string cheese. And this is how plant-based and vegan chefs are able to recreate crab meat or pulled pork.
You can totally see
Some
that.
people
Look at
do
that.
pulled pork by just peeling it, you know, and you have this shredded look to it.
How long did it take for that big bunch to pop out that way?
Once you get primordia, that's a long fancy word for.
And this is these little
for pins, yeah, for pins.
They actually look like pins
Little
sticking out of the block here.
Yep. Once you get this, days until it looks like this.
Really?
Yep. You'll missed it in the morning. You'll come home from work, you know, get dinner together for the kids, and you just glance over at it, and it's tripled in size. This is the backbone of amateur mycology, right? So any sterile work we have to do, and every step is sterile, is done in the lab in front of the flow hood. The flow hood is kind of the backbone of any mushroom farm. This is where cultures are maintained. This is where spawn is created, and substrate is inoculated. And this is also my incubation space, meaning I wait for blocks to colonize with mycelium in this room until they're ready to go into the grow room, which we just saw.
These bags are what become the big blocks of mushrooms that we were looking at earlier. What is in here?
This is 4 quarts of oats. You can't think of it as cultivating mushrooms. You're actually cultivating mycelium. When it's colonized, it'll look something like this.
It looks like it's going bad, Joe.
Yeah, it really does. But it gets wider and wider and wider.
How long from this step to this step, and what have they done here?
This was dated the 17th, so we're a little past 10 days now. So typically the answer is 2 weeks. Usually lion's mane and most of the strains we grow are 10 days. 10 days from inoculation of spawn until it's ready to go into the grow room and begin pinning.
More and more these days, people want to know where their food comes from. Increasingly, it's coming from operations like this. In Lutz, Florida, I'm Chip Carter from SoutheastProduceWeekly.com, reporting for RFD-TV.
Thanks, Chip. Well, Iovino produces between 150 and 200 pounds of gourmet mushrooms weekly for local chefs, and he's thinking about expanding his commercial production.